Hello and welcome to the business interview on France 24. We're in Deauville for the 5th Women's Forum, the Women Davos created by Aude de Thuin. My guest today is Dominique Reiniche, President of Coca-Cola Europe. Hello and thank you very much for being with us. So you're ranked by Fortune magazine, the 21st most influential women in the world. You run 60,000 people in 38 different countries. Coca-Cola makes Cokes, but also many other drinks, such as Sprite, Minute Maid, Fanta, a total of 180 brands. Coca-Cola Europe is only 20% of the activities, but it's 30% of the profit of the company. You've just participated in a conference about sustainable, responsible business. Coca-Cola is having a program in Africa which aims at increasing women's small distribution businesses. What is the goal of Coca-Cola in this program?
Our goal in Africa is to help communities at the same time as we develop our business. So it's a mutual interest project. And by doing this, we are also trying to empower African women. And by the way, these MDCs, micro distribution centers, are also run by men, but 1/3 of them at least, and sometimes 80% of them, for instance in Nigeria, are run by women. This is a fantastic opportunity for these women because many times it's their first opportunity to go in business without any formal education or training for business. So we train them, we help them to start their business, and also we continue training them along their career with their micro distribution centers.
How many jobs are you talking about?
We are talking about 12,000 jobs to start with now, but we have ambitions to go beyond this number. And we are talking about 2,600 micro distribution centers. Here again, we have a lot of ambitions to further develop them because we think it's a very good way to give back to the community. So selling our products, of course, making a profit, but at the same time sustaining the communities we work with.
Does it mean that women empowerment is not only an issue in rich countries, but also in emerging countries and developing countries?
Women empowerment is a big opportunity in developed countries. I think it's an even bigger opportunity in developing countries because it's very well known, for instance, in Africa, women are the driving force of their communities. Each time a woman goes in business and participates in economic life, she creates a lot of positive energy around her, and she creates a lot of, I would say, collateral benefits.
Is this project in Africa to show a better image of Coca-Cola in Africa, or is it really a real sustainable development policy for the group?
Sustainability is at the core of our strategy because we think that in the future, more than ever, the ability for an enterprise, for a company to grow sustainably will also depend on its ability to give back to the planet and give back to society and to communities as a whole.
So that's philanthropic?
It's not philanthropic at all because it's a win-win. We are not hiding behind a mask, We are a profit organization, and profit is the first thing we have to do in order to be sustainable. Before redistributing wealth, you must create it. But what we think is that it's not antagonistic to also doing good and also working for the greater good in society. We even think it's the only way to be successful in the future.
So Coca-Cola is America, and you're the first woman to belong to the executive committee in Atlanta. What is the Coca-Cola policy to promote women? Does it use positive discrimination? Does it use quotas to promote women? What is the policy?
We have put women empowerment and women development at the core of our strategy. Muhtar Kent, our CEO, has founded the Women's Leadership Council, which we call WLC, which is composed of women around the world that are driving change and accelerating change with concrete actions. So it's not about positive discrimination in its primary meaning, but it's about taking very, very proactive steps and measuring progress also very regularly to make sure we have more and more women making it through the ranks and getting to the top jobs in whatever function or whatever part of the world.
How many women are in the executive committee right now?
In Mutar's executive committee, we are 2 women, which is, I think, a very good beginning. In the board...
It's just the beginning.
Yes, it's just the beginning, but and we are conscious about it, but we are also pleased about it. In Coca-Cola's board of directors, we have 3 women out of 15 members, which is, I think, superior to most companies that are listed, in the stock exchange. So I think it's a good performance. And in my own European executive committee, we have gone from 0 now to 4 women in the executive committee. So
which means in percentage, how much?
Which means, I would say, rounding figures, 15%, which is superior to many companies. So in relative terms, we are very strong. In the absolute, and especially so as a woman, I think we can do much better. Knowing that in the junior ranks, we obtain numbers closer to 30-50% of women in positions. So I'm hopeful that we can make a lot of progress also in the senior ranks in the future. And this is the aim of the Women's Leadership Council.
With no quotas? You think you will reach the goals with no quotas?
Of course, it takes a lot of efforts and a lot of actions together. We have mentoring programs, we have training programs, we also have a big project of putting together a global network for all our women, junior, senior, etc., everybody, because women need to be supported in order to progress. And a network is evident in many research, is an absolute must. Men have them naturally. We have to create them for women, and this is what we are doing. We also have another ambition beyond creating our own network, which is to interconnect our own global network once it's ready this year, a bit later this year, or early in 2010, connect it with other companies who also have the same goals. Because if you don't do with quotas, you have to accelerate everything you do to get quicker to the result.
Okay, so there's a will.
There is a real will, I tell you.
So you have 3 daughters here in Deauville at the Women's Forum. You are a role model. Are you a role model for your daughters?
I'm very pleased to have 3 daughters and stepdaughters because they are teenagers, very challenging, keeping me in touch with reality. And they consider that, yes, I have the authority of a mother, but not the authority of a boss. So they are joking very often and tell me, Mother, don't transform dinners into meetings or just conversations into appointments. And so, we laugh together, and they are a key part to balance my life as well as my spouse, because I think in order to succeed, keeping the right balance is true also for our employees. We have to be helped by our families and by our children.
They have to be supportive.
Yes, they have to be supportive to help you. We are juggling, but we need some help not to drop the balls.
Okay. So despite the crisis, Coca-Cola remains the most valuable brand. If you look at the Interbrand ranking, how do you explain that the brand continues to be #1 in the world throughout the years?
We are very honored to be to stay at #1 position in this Interbrand ranking, and we know we have to continue working to deserve this position. It's not a given. We don't take it for granted. We don't become complacent. We think it means that we have to continue earning the trust of people, continuing to do a lot of things to be very close to our consumers, our markets, our customers, be in touch with reality, and also give back to society, give back to communities, give back to the planet, so that we can honor, our brand name.
And you're expecting your third quarter results next week. The growth in Europe is going to be very slow, the unemployment very high. What do you expect for Coca-Cola in the long run in Europe?
To continue growing sustainably in Europe, we really have to continue accelerating innovation innovation is at the core of what we should do. It means innovation in product, continuing to develop a very large portfolio to give a lot of choice in, sports drinks, energy, teas, coffees, juice drinks, waters, and of course our famous sparkling drinks like Coca-Cola, of course. And so we have to continue innovating. We have to continue also being involved in the lives of communities through sports, music programs, etc., to continue being an integral part of everyday life.
So Coca-Cola, as few people know in Europe, it has also a bottle of water called Dasani, which is made with a powder. It was launched in the UK a few years ago and then withdrawn from the shelves. Do you think Dasani has a future in Europe?
We have developed other water brands in Europe. We have Bonaqua, for instance, in Germany. We have Chaudfontaine in Belgium and in vending machines in France. We have Apollinaris in Germany. So we have diversified our water portfolio.
Why?
Because what we have discovered working more and more, in this water category, is that the most successful waters are the ones developed locally.
So natural water.
Natural waters, and also sometimes, frankly, table water, not only depending on the countries, because sometimes in some countries table waters are very well accepted. So it depends on the countries, it depends on consumers' habits. But the common point is people like to have proximity with their water sources, springs, in general.
So you don't think Dasani has a future in Europe?
I don't know, frankly, today, but today it's not part of our priorities. We have launched recently also Schweppes Abbey Well in Great Britain to use our Schweppes franchise and a very good spring, which is Abbey Well, and it's doing very well. So, we also have to work by priorities.
Okay, thank you very much, Dominique Reiniche, and this is the end of the business interview. Stay with us on France 24.